Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Chandrika, ma'am.
Good morning, all.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am.
Okay, a request to all of you, keep your cameras on. Even in between, if you want to turn off your cameras, we do not want to see any profile pictures on it. Either your name should be visible or probably your photo, but nothing other than that.
Okay.
We would want to see everybody's cameras on. Rakshit, I think I can see something else. Can we please change? Pratyush, are you able to hear me? Pratyush, Rakshit?
Yeah, I'm changing in just a minute.
Yeah. Is Rakshit online?
Yes, ma'am.
Please change it, Rakshit. Okay, we're just taking 2 minutes to cross-check people who are joining. So in the meanwhile, you can keep yourselves on mute. Lalit, I think yours also. Can you please change the name correctly?
I have removed the profile photo. I don't know why it's not getting changed here.
Then please keep your camera on.
My webcam isn't working on my laptop.
Is Lalit online? Lalit?
Chandrika, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I'm able to hear you.
Asim's pic is, the video is looking upside down.
Yes,
Is
ma'am, I'll
it the
tell you.
same for you?
I'm just checking. Ma'am, Jisha Manoj?
Yeah, now it's okay, Asim.
Ma'am, somebody, Jisha Manoj, is this
Ma'am,
the
that's
new
Vishnu.
student?
Ma'am, that's Vishnu.
I'm Vishnu Prasad. That is Vishnu. Jisha
Uh,
Manoj is Vishnu.
Your screen name should be changed to your name, please. Do it fast.
Vishnu? Is Vishnu online? Which Vishnu? We have
Ma'am,
Vishnu
two.
Vishnu P.
Prasad P.
Vishnu P, are you online? Vishnu P, are you online?
Pratyush,
Is
please
not,
change your profile pic.
I guess.
I've changed it. I don't know why it's not getting changed in here.
Please log in and log out again, Pratyush. Then probably
Yeah.
it will get changed.
Okay, I'll do that.
Vishnu P, are you online?
Geet, you also, your profile pic has to be changed. Either you be visible or you can keep it plain or you can keep your pic.
Vishnu P, are you online?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you please change your name? Please
Yes,
change your
ma'am.
name. You can log in and log out and log in again. I'll accept it.
Ma'am, I already changed, ma'am.
I'm just trying to check. Hold on.
We changed.
He changed, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, he changed his name.
Lakshmi ma'am, I think everybody is through. Can I start?
Yes, yes. Please start. Please start. Don't waste time. Please start.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, class. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning, ma'am.
afternoon, rather.
Good
Sorry.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
How are all of you? It's been quite long.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
fine.
Yeah, fine.
Good, ma'am.
Okay. So, without wasting much time, some things before I start. Each of you will talk individually, as in you will not talk together. Please, everybody will remain on mute. Only the person who wants to talk, wants to ask a doubt, will unmute and ask. All others, everybody to be on mute. Okay. You can keep probably a rough notebook for taking down some important points if you want to. But other than that, to write your fair notes, I will be sending the notes online on WebGenie. So you can write those notes directly. Also, this particular chapter we will be doing doesn't have any numericals, rather just one or two logic kind of numericals. So it's only theory based. So I will be sending notes to you online. You will have to write down the notes after the chapter of electricity. So I hope electricity all of you have completed. And numericals also of electricity has to be done. Once you finish those, then you can start writing notes of magnetic effects of electricity. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Total of how many is supposed to be there? Any idea? One of you can unmute.
Ma'am, I think 60.
60 and above.
Around 60. Almost, yeah.
It's proper, ma'am.
Okay.
There are 61 participants. I guess it's okay. There are 3 teachers.
3 to 4 people should come, I think.
I can see a total of 61 already.
Then most probably everyone's there.
But that should be, I think, including me and admin and Lakshmi Priya ma'am. So
exactly.
Yes,
one or
ma'am.
two
So
more
3
are yet
teachers.
to be there.
3
Yeah.
teachers. That's why I said.
Okay, anyway. Can you all see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is continuation, or it's more likely one of the applications of what you did in the previous chapter, that is electricity. Okay. So a quick small recap of electricity that we did. So electric current is defined as the rate of flow of charges. You've already done this. So how do you find out electric current? You find it out by the formula I is equal to Q by T. Okay. The SI unit of electric current is ampere. Electrical energy, as we know, it's always used after converting into different forms. Now, for example, if it is a light, you're converting from electrical energy to light energy. If it is a fan, you're converting from electrical energy to mechanical energy. If it is a washing machine, you're converting from electrical energy to mechanical energy, right? So you're always using electrical energy and you're converting it into different forms and using it. Similarly, one such kind is electrical energy to heat energy. So examples of, say, an iron box, a geyser, an electric geyser, a microwave oven. All these are examples where you're converting electrical energy to heat energy, right? So that is one of its kind, which was heating effect of electric current, what you learned in the previous chapter. Can somebody quickly recollect the formula and tell me what is the formula for heating effect of electric current? One of them,
It is
please.
equals to I square R multiplied by T.
H is equal to I square RT, where okay,
Or normal
so
energy.
it's nothing but energy itself, but you represent it as H so that you are specifically stating it as heat energy. So we find it out by the formula I square RT, okay, where I is the current, R is the resistance of that particular appliance, and T is the time for which the electrical is through the appliance. Finding out by the formula H is equal to I square RT. So that is one of the applications of electric current. Another major one is magnetic effect. Now what we will be discussing, that is the entire chapter on which this chapter is based on, which is magnetic effects of electric current. Before we go on, we will do a small recap about magnets, what we have learned in our lower classes. So basically, if you look at the screen, I have shared some types of small magnets, which are bar magnets, horseshoe magnets, cylindrical magnets, oval shaped magnets. All these are different kinds of magnets. We have magnetic needles also. So all these are different kinds of magnets. So what is a magnet? A magnet is basically any kind of it's a material which attract other magnetic material, right? So this magnet, the region surrounding a magnet in which the force can be detected. So for example, if you have kept a magnet, you keep another magnet near it, then what happens? Even if you place it near it, it attracts that another magnet. So what does it mean? The region around that magnet, which the force is there, which the force is present, that is defined as the magnetic field. So that entire region in which, when you place anything in that particular region, then that particular region is called the magnetic field. So that region can be in such a way that it depends on the strength of the magnet. If you keep a very strong magnet, the region can be a larger area. But if you keep a weak magnet, the region or the magnetic field can be a smaller area. So that region or the field, how much it spreads to, depends on the strength of the electromagnet. Now this strength of the electromagnet, it depends on various various other factors depending on what material it is made up of. So when you're actually purchasing a magnet, you just have to note the strength of it, that's all. So again, I'm repeating, the magnetic field is the field around the magnet where the magnetic force will either attract or any material that is magnetic field, that is how much it is spread to, will depend on the strength of the electromagnet. If it is a very strong electromagnet, the magnetic field will spread to a larger area. If it is a weak magnet, the magnetic field will restrict itself to a smaller area. All magnets are made up of group of metals. These are called ferromagnetic metals. You will learn this in your higher classes. You can just remember it as ferromagnetic metals. The metals are made up of iron and nickel. Okay, this is just an additional information for you to know what magnets are made up of. So magnets have 4 different properties. Property. I hope the screen is visible to you. Are you able to read the screen completely?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So attractive property. Magnet attracts all magnetic material like iron, cobalt, nickel. Again, you all are attracted by magnets. Therefore, it has a magnetic property. Attractive property. Repulsive property. We know that like poles repel and unlike poles attract. So if you have the north pole of one magnet and you get the north pole of another magnet, because both of them are like poles, they will repel each other. Okay, so that is the repulsive property. It repel only if it is of another magnet. If it is any other magnet, it will always attract. So repulsive property. Next is directive property. If you take any magnet and you suspend it freely, I say suspend, you can leave a thread to it and hang around. So that is what we mean by suspend it freely. So if you suspend, it always points in the north-south direction. That is, if you take a bar magnet and you suspend it, the north pole of the bar magnet will always point to the north pole of the earth. And the south pole of the bar magnet will always point to the south. Okay, I'm repeating. Directive property states that if you suspend a bar magnet or any magnet freely, if the north pole of the bar magnet will always point to the north pole of the earth, I'm talking about the geographic north pole of the earth, and the south pole of the magnet will point to the geographic south pole of the earth. So this is called the directive property. Why it is called the directive property is because in the olden days, they introduced magnetic compasses and needles when they wanted to find out if they wanted to find out in what direction they were going. They used to take a magnet and they used to suspend it freely, wherever the north pole of the magnet was pointing, that they would identify as the north direction. So because it is helping us find directions, we call it the directive property. Okay.
Ma'am, how can you know that it's a north pole?
Okay, when they are initially making the magnet, they will know it is the north pole. That is one way. Now the other way is, suppose I don't know what is the north pole of the magnet, then again I will suspend it freely. If I know the geographic north, then the side that is pointing to the north pole, that will become the north pole again. Correct? I'm repeating. For example, if I don't know the poles of the magnet, I just know I have a magnet, I don't know which is the north. In that case, if I know the geographic north and south of the earth, then whichever side of the bar magnet or whichever pole of the bar magnet is pointing to the geographic north, that you will mark as the north pole. So you should either know one magnets, north and south pole, or you should know the earth's geographic north and south. One of them you'll have to know. Then the other one you can find out.
Ferromagnetic elements like iron and nickel.
Yeah, see, these bar magnets are artificially made magnets. So when they are making the magnets itself, they will mark the north and south pole. Like if you see in this previous slide, everywhere the north and south will be marked when they are making the magnets. I'll show it to you further. Everywhere the north and south will be marked when they are making the magnets. These are all artificially prepared magnets.
I have a doubt. Do they mark it in different colors, or do they write north, south, like N, S?
Write N and S. Okay. Also, it depends. Some of them, like if you see in these diagrams, the red color is marked north. The bar magnet that you see, the red color is marked north.
Yeah.
Are all planets magnetic? Like
no,
Earth?
it depends. Magnetic field planets. That is because of the okay. For example, if you take the Earth magnetic field because of its iron core that it has. So it's not necessary that all planets have. And even if it has, the strength might not be the same.
So it depends on.
It depends on planet to planet, and Earth has a magnetic field, a very strong magnetic field, only because of its iron core.
Okay, so
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, one more thing before asking, can we please tell our name so that I know who is asking?
Ma'am, I'm Dev. So
yes, Dev, please tell me.
It says that magnets have a repulsive property. So
Yeah.
North Pole should point south and South Pole should point north.
No, I will give you a small detail about it. Let me finish this, then I will tell you a little more about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Kashmi.
Ma'am, to magnet, both the sides point the same direction. So how will you know which is north and south?
In a horseshoe magnet, one end of it is north, one end of it is south. When it is suspended freely, one will point towards the north, the other will point towards the south. They are not pointing in the same direction.
But they face the same direction, ma'am.
They face the same direction, correct?
And
But then,
horseshoe.
yeah, it's like a horseshoe. It's like this. Is it visible? My hand is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So it will point like this. So this will be the north, this will be the south.
Ma'am?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, that's what
I'm in a ring.
In a one face will be north, one complete face will be south. Like, what do you mean by face? Like, if you take a coin, one face is heads, one face is tails, right? So same like that. One face will become south pole, both in ring magnet as well as button magnets. Button magnets are the complete magnets, not a hole in between. Button magnet. So for magnet, one come north, one complete face will become south.
Okay, ma'am.
Can I continue?
Doubt, ma'am. That's like. Okay, ma'am.
Abhinav, can you be a little louder? I can't hear you.
Ma'am, I just have one doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
Like the horseshoe magnets, ma'am, we have to keep something in between so that they don't just attract each other, right?
But the material is made so strong that that will not, attract each other. When you say magnetic field lines are traveling from the north to the south, but the material through which the magnet is made is quite strong enough, and it is poles of the same magnet. So there is no question of attracting or repelling there.
They won't attract.
No, how will it attract? It's poles of the same magnet, right? It's one magnet itself which has two different poles. In a bar magnet also, how will it attract? It's just one magnet with two poles. Same like that. Am I clear?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Abhinav, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So every magnet has two poles, one north pole and the other south pole. Okay. Coming back to Dave's doubt. Actually, we have a suspended, a magnetic field. They say it's actually a huge magnet which is buried deep down the earth. Okay. It's, not exactly present, but then it's a imaginary magnet. Now, this imaginary magnet has created a magnetic field because of the soft iron core of the earth. Now, this magnet is, when it is buried down the earth, it is like a bar magnet. This bar magnet of the earth's magnet is placed in such a way that the south pole of the earth's magnet is pointing to the I'm repeating, the south of the magnetic bar magnet or the magnetic is pointing to the geographic of earth. That is the reason why when I suspend a magnet freely, the north pole of the bar magnet will point to geography, because the earth's magnetic field is pointing south in that direction.
Magnetic poles and the normal poles of the earth, their
that's why I'm
geographic and
specifying
magnetic are
that
opposite.
The north and south pole of the earth.
Yeah, and the
Magnetic poles are the
opposite.
earth's magnetic field.
Yeah. Why didn't
Okay.
we just name the earth North Pole as the geographic North Pole? Is there a reason why they're opposite?
I can't hear you once. Can you be a little more?
So, North Pole, right? And
Yeah.
that's Earth's geographic North Pole, but magnetic South Pole is in for Earth.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just name Arctic as the South Pole, same as its magnetic poles? Is there a
No,
reason why?
see, that is because we do not have any, I mean, there's nothing like, okay, if we go on digging down the earth, I find a magnet. There's nothing like that. Okay, this magnet, what we are assuming that is there, properties like directive property is one. Second is, if I take an iron rod and I at a certain depth, if I bury it for a period of time, for a longer period of time, it will become magnetic. That is another evidence why we say that Earth has a magnetic field. Okay, we are only saying Earth has a magnetic field. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. I mean, there is no proper evidence. Go on burying deep down. There is no evidence like that. So, find of this directive property, or when I bury a iron rod is becoming magnetic. If you take all these kind of examples, it is a magnetic field. Now, because the direct property, the north pole of the bar magnet is pointing towards the geographic north, and we know that like poles repel and unlike poles attract. Because of this property, we have the geographic north has the Earth's south. Vansh.
All right, ma'am.
I hope I'm clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, one thing.
Yeah.
Ma'am, we tell that the Earth is the largest magnet, but still we say that the bar magnet power is much more bigger than the Earth magnet.
No, there is nothing like that. See, strength magnet. Yeah.
Ma'am, like now, example, we take a bar magnet and we take some iron fillings. Like it attracts to it like faster, right? Now, when we keep it down the ground, it does not attract.
That is what I'm saying. There is no proof, or there is no material as such which is found deep down the earth saying this is a magnet. But because of certain other evidences, like the directive property, like if you take a rod and the soil, it's becoming a magnet. In your classes, you will learn something called the neutral points. So these are all different evidences which is proving to say that there is a magnetic field. Okay, we do not have any material as such which we have said, okay, this particular thing is a magnet. No, it's just that we feel that there is a magnetic field which is existing. That's all. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, by the way, why are we discussing all this? Actually, we are supposed to start electromagnets. But why are we discussing all this? Or a slight recap about magnets, what we have learned in our lower classes is because when I teach you about electromagnets, we should start being able to differentiate what is a magnet and what is an electromagnet. That's the recap about magnets, so that electromagnets and magnets, you will understand the differences. Why did we discover electromagnets, and how good are electromagnets, and why are we using more of electromagnets rather than using regular permanent magnets? That's the main reason why we are discussing this. Okay, so magnetic field lines. We will discuss some properties about magnetic field lines. A magnetic field line starts from the North Pole and reaches the South Pole. If you see in the diagram also, I've shown you, it starts from the North Pole. You can see the arrows, it's going up to the South Pole. Now, if you see these magnetic field lines, actually lines, right? So outside the magnet, you will see it going from north to south. Whereas inside the magnet, the lines are closing. These are continuous curves like this. So it is from south to north. Okay. This is just.
Is it like something is going from north to south? What is that it's going.
These
Inside
are
the magnet south to north.
these are imaginary lines, but we are drawing those lines to indicate that this is the magnetic field, and these have certain properties. If you keep a bar magnet, you will not see the lines actually, but if you put some iron fillings near the bar magnet, the iron fillings will get arranged themselves in the manner of these lines. Okay, so those are indicating that it is a magnetic field line.
But my question is, why are there arrows on a magnetic field?
The arrows are indicating that the field lines are traveling from the north and entering into the magnet through the south. Yes, Vansh, what happened? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other doubt on that?
Ma'am, the field lines just don't meet, right?
The field lines meet at the poles.
Yeah, other than that, they don't meet, right?
Other than that, they don't meet. The field lines meet only at the poles. Okay, so again, I'm specifying the magnetic field lines are starting from the north pole of the magnet, and they are continuous lines, and which will come into the south pole of the magnet. So outside the magnet, it is going from north to south. Inside the magnet, are at close distance. So the lines which are closer to the magnet, they are stronger lines. As the magnetic field lines are going further away from the magnet, they start becoming weak lines. Okay, so that means as the lines are going further and further away, the magnetic strength is going on decreasing. That's what I mean by this point. Magnetic field lines do not intersect each other. They always start at the north pole and they end at the south pole, that we have already seen. Magnetic field lines are continuous closed lines. They are crowded at the poles. So the magnetic field is strongest at the poles. Okay, at the poles, the magnetic strength or the field is strongest. As you're going towards the center of the magnet, it is weaker. Why is it weaker? Because the field lines are far away from center here, whereas the field lines are condensing and they are meeting at the poles. Therefore, at the poles, it is the strongest. Okay, so these are some properties of magnetic field lines. How do you demagnetize a permanent magnet? If you heat it at very high temperatures, the bar magnet or the horseshoe magnet, any permanent magnet will get demagnetized. That is, it will lose its magnetic strength. What do I mean by demagnetizing? It means it's losing its magnetic strength. So demagnetizing will happen at very high temperatures. If you apply a stronger magnetic field, then it will get demagnetized. If you apply why, that you will understand when we discuss and hammer the magnet, then also the magnet will get demagnetized. Okay, so this is about demagnetizing a permanent magnet. Okay, so this was all to do with magnets, what we have learned in our lower classes. I hope any other doubts with magnets? Any doubts till what I did till now?
No.
Any doubts? Can I continue? So we'll start with electromagnet. Electromagnet is a type where a magnetic field is produced because of electric current. So this is another application of electric current. That is, like we had the heating effect of electric current, like that, this is another application where a magnetic field is produced because of electric current. Okay, an electromagnet looks something like this, what I have projected on the slide. If you see, I have connected a wire to it. A wire, I have wound it around some material, and when I turn on, when the switch is on, that is when current is passing through the wire, you will see a magnetic field which is created around those wires. So this magnetic field, again, if you notice, it's going from the north pole to the south pole. The arrows are specified there. It is going from the north pole to the south pole. So the region around which again here these magnetic field lines spread, that is again called the magnetic field of that electromagnet. So till wherever these lines are, I don't say visible, but till wherever these lines are indicating that it is having the attractive property, till there will be a magnetic field which is existing. So these are two different types of electromagnets which we commonly use. I-shaped electromagnet, which is just a piece of iron bar, soft iron bar, and I put a wire around it, and when current is passed through it, it will act like an electromagnet. Now, how to identify the south and north pole that they have written there? There is a rule how we identify it. We will be discussing it in our further classes. So another type of electromagnets
rule.
used, sorry?
It's Fleming's rule, right?
Yeah, I'll explain that. I'll explain the rule in my further classes. This is just for your information about the different types of magnets. So we have the I-shaped magnet and the horseshoe-shaped magnet. So horseshoe-shaped magnet are also very commonly used in a lot of appliances. If you see here, it is just a horseshoe-shaped iron bar, iron-shaped magnet. Sorry, iron bar in the shape of an horseshoe, and I have put a copper wire around it. Because of the wire around it, it will get its poles to be north and south. Otherwise, it is actually just a piece of iron. Only and only when I pass current through it, it will become an electromagnet. Once I turn off the battery, that is, no current is passing through it, it loses its magnetic property and it just becomes a piece of iron again. Okay?
I have a doubt now. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Ma'am, yeah. Ma'am, so in the second thing, why are we using a rheostat? Using a
to that, I'll come to that. Okay, any idea what is a rheostat used for basically?
Ma'am,
controlling the resistance.
We can
controlling the resistance. That is, I can increase or decrease the resistance. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, we know alternatively that when I decrease the resistance, can I increase the current?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, if I increase the resistance, I can decrease the current. Right?
Yeah.
When I talk about electromagnets further, I will talk about how the magnitude of current is changing the strength of the magnet. Okay. That is, if I increase the current, the strength of the electromagnet also increases. Okay. So how can I increase the current? I don't have any method to increase the current. So I'll use a rheostat there, decrease the resistance so that I increase the current.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Somebody else is having some doubt. I heard somebody talking. Amisha, is that you?
No.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay. I think Gangotri, can you please mute your mic? Is Gangotri online? Gangotri, please mute your mic.
Ma'am, my mic is muted.
I don't see it muted here. Now it is muted. Okay. Okay. So that's the reason we use a rheostat. So a rheostat is used for increasing or decreasing the resistance. But in this case, if I decrease the resistance, I'm increasing the magnitude of the current. So when I increase the magnitude of current, by that I can increase the strength of the electromagnet. Okay. So that is one of the properties of electromagnets, which I will be discussing further. So when I increase the strength of the magnitude of current, I will be increasing the strength of the magnetic field. Okay, so that is why a rheostat is used there. An ammeter, what is an ammeter used for?
Measure.
1 minute. Let me ask somebody. Niharika, what is an ammeter used for?
Measuring the current.
Sorry?
Measuring the current.
Yeah, it is a device which is used for measuring the magnitude of current. To be more specific, we are measuring the magnitude of current using an ammeter. A key is nothing but like a switch just to turn and off the current, or turn off or turn on the current. So quickly recollecting all the points that I mentioned in this slide, an electromagnet is its magnetic field when you turn on the current. So only when current is passing through, it produces a magnetic field around it. We are using a rheostat here so that I'm increasing or decreasing the resistance. inversely, the current will increase or decrease. Specific, if I decrease the resistance, the current will increase. If I increase the resistance, so if I increase the current, the strength of the electromagnet increases. If I decrease the current, the strength of electromagnet decreases. So as and when required, we can increase or decrease the strength depending on where we are using this particular kind of magnet. When I discuss the uses of electromagnets, I will about this, why we need to increase or decrease the I'm using an ammeter here to measure the magnitude of current, how much I'm passing it through it, and a key is nothing but a switch, which is an on and off device. So quickly play we originally came up with it, and let's see a little more about it. What was the first experiment on how they identified the direction and how they found out about electrons. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
A compass needle, when placed near a magnet, gets deflected. This is
the sound audible?
Not so clear.
Not clearly, ma'am.
But it's not clear.
It hurts to
Okay.
hear.
Let me play it. Those who can hear it, fine. If you cannot hear it, I will also give you a voiceover once the video is done. Okay.
because the magnet produces a magnetic field around it. Are magnets the only source of magnetic fields?
Okay. So the first part where the magnet was visible. The question here is, I've taken a compass and I've taken a bar magnet. Are magnets the only source of magnetic field? No. No, we have come up with electromagnets which also produce a magnetic field, and those bar magnets or the permanent magnets are not the only source of magnetic fields.
The answer is no. A current carrying wire or a loop can also produce a magnetic field around it. This was a coincidental discovery made by a scientist named Hans Ørsted. Let us study the various experiments which Ørsted performed to demonstrate that a current carrying wire is indeed a source of a magnetic field.
Okay. These electromagnets were discovered by Hans Ørsted. He accidentally discovered this actually. He was trying to do some other experiment, but then he came up with this conclusion after doing the experiment multiple number of times, and he found out about these electromagnets are produced when a current is passing through a wire. So let us see the experiment that he did.
Let's witness the first of Ørsted, which demonstrated that a current carrying wire produces a magnetic field around it.
So this is the experimental setup that he took. He kept a key is nothing but a switch again. He took a wire, he connected it to a battery. Okay, so this is the initial setup of the experiment.
The animation selects the location of the magnetic needle and then click the start button to begin the experiment.
Okay, now what he did was I don't say suspended the wire, but he kept the wire at a certain height so that he took another magnetic needle and he placed it below the wire. Okay, so I'll say place the magnet below the wire and say start. You will see that the magnetic needle is pointing in one particular direction. Okay, now why am I showing you this direction is because you will see, look, observe the battery very carefully. The red which is marked on the battery is the positive of the battery, and the black that is marked is the negative of the battery. And we always know from the battery the current flows from the positive to the negative, right? So look at the direction in which the current is flowing. It is flowing from the red then to the black. So now observe how the magnetic needle is pointing. Now why so many times I'm specifically asking you to observe is because if I say reverse the direction, can I observe, did I observe that the the wires have got reversed? If you notice, the wires have got reversed on the battery.
Yes,
Therefore, the magnetic needle is also deflecting in the opposite direction. Again, I'm specifying. This is the first case where the red was showing the positive. So the current is flowing in one particular direction, and therefore the needle is pointing direction. But if I reverse the direction of current, you will notice that the wires have got exchanged. So the direction which the flow of current has changed. Therefore, the magnetic field deflection is also changing. Okay, I will explain this to you again in more detail in the further, but I am trying to explain to you that there is a magnetic field which has been shown or which has been detected. That is why there is a deflection in the magnetic needle. Now this is when I have placed the magnetic needle below. Let's see what happens if I place the magnetic needle above. Okay, and now I've placed it above. I say start. So the magnetic needle is pointing in a particular direction. Now if I say again reverse the direction, you will see that it is deflecting in the opposite direction. Okay, now by this experiment, okay, let's see what he has to say, then I will continue that.
We see that Oersted's experiments demonstrate the following. Firstly, a magnetic field is produced when current flows through a wire. Secondly, the magnetic fields above and below the current-carrying wire are in opposite directions to each other.
Okay, so the first conclusion he came to was there is a magnetic field which is produced around the wire. If you notice the first diagram here, you will see dotted lines. Those dotted lines are nothing but indicating that there is a magnetic field around the wire. The second conclusion he came to was if you place the magnetic needle below and above, you will see that the magnetic needle are deflecting in opposite directions. I will explain this to you why it is moving in opposite directions further. But you should, here as of now, please note that they're in opposite directions when I keep the magnetic needle below and when I keep it above. That is, if you keep it below, it is in one direction. The same thing if you keep it above, it is in the opposite direction. I'm talking about without reversing the current. In the same direction of flow of current, below when the magnetic needle is placed, it is pointing in one direction. Above when it is placed, it is pointing in the opposite direction.
The magnetic fields above and below the current-carrying wire are in opposite directions to each other. And thirdly, the direction of the magnetic field around the current-carrying wire depends on the direction of the current in the wire.
So the third thing that he mentioned here is the direction of the current is the major factor for showing the deflection in the magnetic field. So if in one direction the magnetic field is the magnetic needle is pointing in one particular direction, if I reverse the direction of the current, the magnetic needle will also reverse or will deflect in the opposite direction. Okay, so by this experiment he proved three things. One, that a magnetic field is produced around a wire which is carrying current. Second, if I place the magnetic needle below and if I place the magnetic needle above, then in both the cases, the magnetic needle will show opposite deflections, but the direction of current is the same. But in the third case, if I'm reversing the direction of current, then the magnetic needle is also deflecting in opposite directions. Okay, these are three things that he proved by this experiment. Let me continue the video.
Now let us see how the magnetic field lines around a straight current carrying wire look like.
So here the brown color is actually indicating a wire. If I place a few number of compass needles around it, now the wire is, there is no current passing through the wire as of now. So if you notice, all the needles are pointing in one direction, which is nothing but the Earth's magnetic north pole. If you take a compass, in what direction will it point to? It will always point to the north pole, right? So same here, all these compasses are pointing to the north pole of the Earth. Okay, this is when the wire doesn't have any current passing through. So now we will see when I pass current through the wire, what happens.
Here, the wire is placed perpendicular to the surface on which there are numerous compass needles. Notice that in the absence of any other magnetic field, all the compass needles point towards the Earth's magnetic north.
So what do we mean by any other magnetic field? If I pass current through the wire, then a magnetic field is produced around the wire. But as of now, I have not passed current through the wire. Therefore, it's just a wire and some compasses placed around it. That's why there is no deflection in the magnetic field. But now when I pass current through the wire, see what happens.
As soon as an electric current begins to flow through the wire, all the compass needles deflect as if aligned along concentric circular rings.
So if you notice here, I'm passing current through the wire and the current is going in the upward direction. I'm pointing my thumb, it's going in the upward direction. So now you will see that all the needles are showing deflections in different directions. It is no more showing deflections in the same as it was showing. I'll show you the previous one quickly. See, all of them were showing like this. But when I passed the current, it is showing different directions. Now, why is it showing different directions? Is because it is showing the direction of the magnetic field which is produced because current is passing through this wire. Again, I'm repeating, because this wire has current passing through it, a weak magnetic field is created. And this magnetic field, in which direction it is passing or in which direction it is pointing, all these magnets are pointing in that particular direction. Okay, that is the reason you will see all these compasses, there is a deflection which is shown. To make it more precise, the red color side of the magnetic needle is having the north pole and the blue color side is having the south pole. And if you notice, the red colors are all pointing in the same direction. All are pointing in this direction. Okay, we will explain this to you more precisely.
Concentric circular rings. These concentric circular rings correspond to concentric magnetic field lines.
Okay, so if you notice here, the red color that you see is nothing but the wire which has the current passing through it. And these magnetic field lines, if you notice, all of them are pointing in the same direction. Therefore, that is the reason why all these magnetic compass needles were also pointing in the same direction. All the red color, that is the north pole of these magnetic compasses, were pointing in the same direction. That is the reason why those were all pointing in the same direction, because that is indicating the north side or the north pole of the magnetic field.
Current flowing upwards through the wire as shown. If the current carrying wire is held by curling the fingers around it such that the thumb points in the direction of the current, then the direction of the curl of the fingers corresponds to the direction of the magnetic field lines around it. This rule to determine the direction of magnetic field lines around a current carrying wire is known as the right hand curl rule. Of magnetic
Okay. So how do we identify the direction of this magnetic field lines? So you have to take your right hand. Am I visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the best I
Yes,
can
ma'am.
do. If you take your right hand and this is how you point your thumb up, and if you place the wire in this particular manner, okay, the direction of the current should point where my thumb is pointing. So if my current is going like this, you'll point your thumb upward. If my current is going downward, then you'll point your thumb downward. So in whichever direction the current is going, your thumb should point in that particular direction. Okay, so if I'm pointing my thumb upward, that means the current is going in the upward direction. Then in whichever direction these four fingers are pointing, that will be the direction of the magnetic field. So if my fingers are pointing in this direction now, this is my direction of the magnetic field. Okay, and if my thumb was pointing downward, then this opposite becomes the direction of the magnetic field. I have displayed it on the screen also. I'm showing you my hand also. Okay, if you notice, these four fingers will point in the opposite direction when I point my thumb downward. That is, it will point this way. And if my thumb is upward, that means if my current is going upward, then this becomes my direction of the magnetic field. Any doubt with this? Anybody wants me to repeat this? Can we please come forward and answer if anybody wants me to repeat? Okay, so this is called, yeah.
Ma'am, current always goes from north to the south, ma'am, in magnetic field.
Not in magnetic field here. Current always goes from positive to negative in the battery. Okay, the magnetic field lines are going from north to south. But if I reverse the direction of current, then the north and the south poles also get reversed, right? That is why specifying the direction of current is important here.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so it's called right hand curl rule. In our textbooks, it's mentioned as right hand thumb rule. Both the rules are the same. It's called right hand thumb rule. I'm repeating. There is a difference between Fleming's right hand rule and right hand thumb rule. Both are there in this chapter. So you need to be very careful on specifying which is right hand thumb rule or Fleming's right hand rule. Yeah.
There's a difference between right hand rule and Fleming's right hand rule.
Yes.
Yeah, Fleming's right hand rule has even the middle finger and the
Yeah,
index finger.
I'll explain to that when it comes. As of now, please remember this is only right hand thumb rule. Okay.
Ma'am, so if we coil the when we coil the wire, we can see these magnetic lines making something like the magnetic field, and then we can determine which is north and south. But when it's a single wire like this, how do you know that which side of the wire is north or which side is south?
See, there is no side of the wire here. Okay, here I can only identify in which direction it is going. One thing. Second thing, I always know that it is going from north to south. Right? So I only know in which direction it is going. No, the magnetic field lines. Current I know. Current I know is always going from the positive terminal to the negative terminal.
So the compass which he used for the experiment, it was pointing towards one end of the line and one end of the wire. But there was no coil in that time. There was no magnetic field which could tell us which is north or south. but the compass was still pointing as if it was south here and not there. So
No,
how is
no,
that?
1 minute. Are you talking about this part when I'm passing the current, or are you talking about the part before this when there was no passing of
Before
current?
this.
Huh?
No, before this, the experiment which he did, Mr. Hans.
This one?
Toasted.
Yeah. So here
Okay.
we can see the compass pointing towards one end of the wire as if there's a what is that, south pole there. But
Correct.
there is no coil in the wire yet. That means we can't determine which form.
I can determine. See, if according to this diagram, what I'm showing you, if I point it like this is indicating that the current is moving in this direction.
It's the opposite of that, right? No?
Okay, because you're seeing it laterally inverted. For me, it's like this.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, so these are indicating the direction of the magnetic field. So it's going like this.
Yeah.
If it is going in the opposite direction, it becomes like this. So this becomes the opposite direction.
Yeah, but it's circular around the wire. There is no like a magnet's magnetic field. We see the here it's only circular, but in a magnet we see it coming from the north pole and then going to the south pole.
Yeah,
But
correct.
here it's just
That's why I'm
circular.
telling you. See, that is the reason why I'm telling you at this point, they are concentric circles. See, at this point also you can see they're circles. They're just concentric circles. Correct. So I'm nowhere specifying whether it is the north pole or the south pole. I'm only specifying to you that this is the direction.
Yeah. So how was the compass able to determine that, yeah, this is the south pole, I should point this way?
There is no,
If there-
no, see, the north pole of the compass is just pointing in the direction in which the magnetic field will start from, or in which direction it is going to. That's all.
All right.
Okay. That's why nowhere we are specifying north or south here.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
So this right hand thumb rule can be asked for 1 mark. The question will be state right hand thumb rule. Okay, again I'm specifying in our textbook, it's specified as thumb rule, not curl rule. That's why I'm specifying to you. It's called right hand thumb rule, and this question to state right hand thumb rule will be asked for 1 mark. So this rule needs to be learnt as it is. In the notes that I will send it to you, I will send you this rule. Please write it down. You need to learn the rule as it is. So from here, whenever you are stating any rules, even previous chapter when you have to state Ohm's law or these rules or the laws, you need to write them word to word in the same manner how it is stated. Only then you will get complete marks. You cannot make your own words out of these laws or rules. Okay, so the rule has to be stated exactly how it is, and it will be asked for 1 mark for stating this rule. I hope I'm clear till here. Any doubts with what I've done till here?
No, ma'am.
All right.
I cannot see everybody online. Okay, so any doubts till what we have done?
No.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, Dhruv S. Next time, we do not want to see that profile picture, whatever you have put. Either you turn on your is Dhruv S there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, next time, please either put your photo, your name, or you have to be live on the camera. We do not want to see those kind of profile pictures. I think you were not there initially when we made the announcement. I saw it just now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I wind off this class? Geet also. I think Geet ma'am already has told you, but still we see a different profile picture there. Geet, are you online? Geet? Geet, can you please respond? Geet, I can see you. Please respond. Okay. One of them can please inform him for changing his profile picture. So I wind off this class. If any doubts, you can note it and ask me in the beginning of the next class. Also, please go through the textbook till here, the first part of the chapter. Please go through till here. If you have any doubts, we can discuss it in the next class. To specify to you more clearly, you can go through from page number 223 till page number 227. I'm specifying page 223 to 227. Please go through the textbook. I will also send the notes. You can start writing the notes. So can we wind off the class? Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Please leave the meeting immediately.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for that.
Thank
It
you, ma'am.
makes me feel I came back to class.
Ma'am,
Thank you, ma'am.
one thing.